Check out the brand new How to Become a Better Looking Man course by using the links below. Okay guys, welcome back to another video. I'm absolutely pumped for these videos. I think tonight's going to be so sick. I'm going to make like a couple pieces of content. I think I'm going to do it all weekend as well because it's raining. I just feel proper pumped. I've just chucked another 12.5 grand into products, first man products, diuretics, boxers, lifestyle supplement. I've just boosted the stock up massively. Everything's going well with the fulfillment company. It's just good times, you know. I was just having voice note chats with Hamza, just feeding off the vibes. I just feel like we're both in a great position. We're just kind of feeding off that. Let me get this chair up. It's too low. Yeah, it's just good energy. Do you know what I mean, guys? Just good energy, good vibes, good people, good position in life. I'm just really feeling it, okay? And one point to make on that is the topic of discussion for today's video, okay? Which is the exponential male gap, okay? And what I mean by the exponential male gap is it's very easily describable based on a simple timeline that I'll go through in a minute, okay? I'll feed you through it. But the reason it's so important to explain this concept comes down to the average man. And the average man, as we all know, as I always say on this channel, is a bum, okay? He's a bum, he doesn't do anything, he looks like shit. So it's very hard to get a proper viewpoint of what a high-level man is and how to get there and what you can do and how you can manipulate life to experience the other side of male life. And if you haven't watched my video on, it's actually called The Other Side of Male Life, I think motivation in brackets. Go and watch that if you've got nothing to do this weekend, because it's a long video. It's just me ranting, showing pictures. It's kind of cool. It's completely different to anything else on the internet, but it's really fun to watch, okay? But that will explain a lot. That'll explain a lot of what I'm talking about, okay? And I feel like so many guys in life don't get to experience that. So therefore, they don't have any reference point, okay, when it comes to like the kind of standard of life that you could have. Which leads to a big problem. It makes them think, what's the point in trying? My youth is here now. These are my best years. These are my best times. Why would I put loads of work in when I'm going to look like shit anyway? And I feel like that mindset barrier is stopping so many young men actually finding the motivation to put work in. Because they're just thinking, well, I'm going to end up like big, fat, bold Jerry anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, that guy who works at my office, he's, you know, I'm going to end up like him. That's my future because that's all I'm seeing on a daily basis. I look at my dad. He's, you know, 20 stone. He's stone. Who uses stone anymore? Let's say he's like 120 kilograms. And he's only 5'8". Do you know what I mean? It's like, Jesus, that guy's really overweight. He looks like shit. Eats and drinks terrible foods. He just like skin's terrible. Your mum left him years ago and you're thinking, oh, well, that's my future. Like, it's not, okay, guys? And this is where the exponential male gap comes in, okay? And like I promised at the start, I'll explain this as a proper story. So, when we're like 18 years old or anything below that, we're all very similar, okay? The only outlier might be genetics. There might be one guy with, and kind of accidental genetics. There might be epigenetics. There might be environmental factors. Like, for example, my dad used to take us for a steak every Tuesday. And those steaks, when I was young, they were so fucking tough to chew that my jawline ended up building like quite strong, or my jaw muscles did. So my face growth was naturally, as a kid, quite good. You know, it's things like that. Like, I couldn't have predicted that or whatever, okay? But there's a few... Your mates are taller than you. Do you know what I mean? Something like that. One of your mates is like 6'4" naturally. It's, you know, pot luck there. But other than that, and the odd rich kid, everybody's pretty much at the same level. So it's very hard, if you're all at the same level, to justify putting work in. Because it's like, we're all, you know, where's the competition? We're all at the same level. Why should I try harder? You know, it's like when people want to be successful and then they make like 50k per year and they're like, it's 10,000 more than my mates. It's like double the national average. Yeah, it's all good. I'm happy. I'll stop there. And I feel like that effect takes place when you're like 18 because you think about it, 18, right? We're all relatively in the same shape. Like, nobody's got much muscle. Some people are taller than others, but everybody looks pretty much the same. You're kind of in shape effortlessly. Like, you got pretty low body fat percentage, like 12 to 16 without really trying. You can drink beer, you can go out, whatever. It doesn't really affect you too much. You still look pretty good. Sport and performance doesn't really get impacted that badly. And everybody pretty much looks the same, okay? We've all got like the same haircuts. We're wearing the same clothes. Nobody is that much richer than anybody else. You know, you've all got similar jobs, similar wealth. You can all afford like a shit new car. Do you know what I mean? Like, what I mean by new car is like, well, I should have said first car, okay? Like that shit first car that you have, like a Fiat or something like that, all right? And everybody's at that level, so it's fine. It's not a problem at 18 because everybody's at the same level, like I said. So if you pull up in a old banged up Fiat, which has got some alloys missing, which I had a Peugeot 206 that had alloys missing at like 18, I would pick girls up in this car. We'd have sex in the back of the car. It was a shit car. There was alloys missing. It was, it was a terrible car. It was like light green. I used to call it Kermit the Frog green. And they didn't care because everybody was on that kind of level. So, when guys say to me on this channel, oh, Chris, you're wrong about a lot of these things. All that matters when it comes to women or having luck with women, and I don't want to make this all about women. I really don't. I'm just focusing on this point. They say all that matters is being handsome. Face matters more than anything. But what you've got there is a high school mentality. Because I remember 18 being like the handsome young guy. Yeah, face did matter more than anything. Because I was kind of in shape. I was athletic. I wasn't muscular or anything like that. Didn't have any money, had a shit car. Like I said, it had alloys missing. It was terrible. Girls still wanted me. Right? But things evolve over time. And the reason that was the case, to bring it back to the exponential male gap, is we were all at the same level. All have the same money, all in the same shape, all wearing the same clothes, doing the same shit. I remember when I'd have like a get-together before a night out and all the boys would come up and they'd see my mum and whatnot. It would just be like, oh, he's a nice lad. He's a nice lad. He's a nice lad. Oh, what do you do for work? Oh, I just work part-time at like the bakery. Oh, I just work for my dad's firm. Do you know what I mean? Like, nobody was doing anything impressive. We're just all the same. Like, we're all at the same level. So, do you see what I mean? Where's the kind of motivation to like become the guy who excels, if that's the level, and women are happy with that level, which is a massive driving force in a young man's life? That's the point that I think a lot of people get it ingrained in their head that it just is what it is. We're all like the same, we're all happy, and we're all going to move forward at the same speed. But this is when you get people who are like, okay, when it moves forward in life, when you get older, this is when you get people who come back to like the hometown and they're expecting everybody to be the same and they get depressed because other people have moved on and become more successful. That's how you get this sort of thing. And it's that mindset that's ingrained in you at like 18 years old. We're all the same, we're all on the same level. There's not too big a gap between us all. What's the problem? There's no red flag there. There's no urgency to go and improve. But here's what I noticed, okay, guys? And I'm 29, so I'm not going to go too far past 30 here with my description because I haven't been there yet. I'd be talking porkies, okay? But I can make a pretty calculated judgment based on the industry that I'm in and the experience I've got up to this point and other people that I've seen. But you get to around about, I'd say 23 to 25, and it's like, probably 25, it's like the first time you see an actual gap. Okay, you see a proper gap between guys of the same age. And one guy might have just focused a little bit more at his 9-to-5 job. Now he's making 40, 50,000 per year. Yeah, it's not crazy money, but at the end of the day, most guys at 25 years old are still on like 20,000 per year, 25,000 per year. They've not really knuckled down. They've still been going out drinking, doing the casual thing, jumping between jobs. That one guy who decided to knuckle down has accelerated. Okay, he's pulled away from the pack. And it becomes exponential. The more you do this, the bigger the gap gets. That's what the point of this video is about. But we'll stay on topic. Now, it could be another guy who's just gone to the gym. Everybody else was getting drunk from 18 to 25, like relentlessly. So it's like 7 years on the piss. One guy goes, I'm going to stay clean. I'm going to stay in. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to build something. The gap between him and his mates at like 25 is going to be pretty big. Okay, that's quite a decent gap. This happens in all areas of life. Okay, so if you're the type of guy to get early nights, he doesn't play video games, for example, gets an early night, gets up early, has a productive day, goes in the gym, he's just learning languages, just doing basic stuff, reading books, whatever. It's only natural that if all of your friends, maybe a skincare routine, something like that, it's only natural if all of your friends and people your age are going out, getting drunk, just enjoying themselves, late nights, playing games all the time, that they're going to look like shit and you're going to just slightly pull away from them for the first time. Now, at 25, that gap's pretty healthy, okay? You can do some damage with that gap, and it makes a lot of people insecure. You do see that shit happening. But it's the next gap, okay? From like 28 to 30, which is the bracket that I'm in now. I've never seen something so glaringly obvious than what I'm seeing right now. Like, I'm not even at my best right now because I bulked. I went up to like 16% body fat. Got all puffy, was eating carbs, whatever. I've been really dealing with that lately. If anybody's seen my latest gym vlog, you can see the hollow cheeks are back, like the cheekbones came back in. I can see under here, like my jawline's becoming a bit more shredded again. And the female attention's like really started again, where like people follow you around the gym, they ask you questions, you're just like, you just want to crack on with what you're doing, but it's starting to build up again. And even at like 14% body fat, which I am now, I'm around about that region, the gap between myself and other guys my age, number one, financially, for obvious reasons. Obviously, I'm really focused on that shit. It's like my main thing. But number two, with fitness and the way you feel about yourself, your testosterone's obviously sky high because I'm living clean, hitting the gym. A lot of people aren't, okay? You've been through 2 or 3 bulks and cuts, serious body transformations. I'm doing things like submentals, orthotropics, whatever. Combine that with a serious amount of wealth that's come in and a serious reinvestment. And like I said, the gap between what you can do in life and the way that you look and how other people treat you and the female attention that you get, the gap that I'm witnessing right now is fucking enormous. It's like any gym that you go into, any bar that you go into. I'll give you a good example, okay? I was telling Hamza this story. And guys, I should have fucking vlogged this. Next time I'm going to vlog it, okay? But I went last Saturday, I was like, I want to just go out for the day. Like, I'm taking Saturdays off now, I'm enjoying my life a lot more. I didn't do this for like 8-9 years. Apart from when I had a missus, I did it occasionally, but never like on my own or with friends. I haven't done this for like 8 years. And I was like, look, Saturday, I'm going to enjoy myself, going to go out for some food and all this sort of shit. Who's coming? I like message so many people and like all my friends are, I'm busy, I'm doing this, I'm working, fair enough, right? And I kind of realised that where I've been working so hard, I'm now free to do this sort of stuff at the tender age of 29. Whereas a lot of people that, my friends and people that I'm connected with, they're obviously having to do like overtime. They're having to work. They're having to do those grind years now, whereas I've done them all, so I'm able to enjoy myself. So that was one kind of revelation. I might make a video on that soon. And I was like, right, fuck it, I'll go on my own then. Like, it's not bitterness. It wasn't like, oh, fuck it, I'll go on my own. I was like, yeah, I'm cool going on my own. I've done loads of shit on my own in the past. So I went over to a place called Cheltenham, which is actually where I was going to get that penthouse, guys. I need to make a video on why I'm not in there, actually. I decided to do other things. I'll describe it to you soon. It's for the betterment of First Man, okay? I'll make a video on it soon. Or the next video I do, I'll make it straight after this. You guys know I'll do like a First Man update. But I went over to this place called Cheltenham, quite metropolitan, if you would. There's a lot of like restaurants and bars and whatever. And I went and got my dad's house valued in the morning, went to the gym and stuff like that. So I had a real productive morning, and I was like, right, I'm going to go over there. And I bought clothes in the week. I bought some really nice stuff. I'd been back on the natural diuretics. I was down to like 14% body fat. Like I said, face was looking lean. I did the S&P. I actually like properly shaved my head, neatened it all up, shaved all my beard, etc. I felt good. I looked good. Confidence was up. And I just rolled over there, and I was just like, I just feel as though I just feel dominant. I feel like the alpha male in this entire place. Okay, and I was just strutting around like my shit didn't stink. You got money in the bank, it's not a problem. So I was strolling into restaurants, and I went and got some food. I was talking to like the girls behind the restaurant like counter. Like, you're flirting with them, you're having conversations with people. You feel good, you feel strong, like the clothes are tight and fitted. I just felt really fucking powerful. And then I went into this like wine store, and I was doing like some wine tasting without actually swallowing it. I was spitting it out. And I was like, that was a different experience. That was cool. And then I went on to this other place, got some more food, had a great crack there, met some people. And then I walked past this like fragrance store. And I walked in, and I was just like talking to the girls behind the counter. And I was like, look, can we just test fragrances because I'm doing some skincare stuff in the future. I'm going to do body wash. I want to test this shit out now and know what I'm into. And it ends up just being me and this girl who works there, who's actually really hot. And we were just like kind of flirting and just testing out all these fragrances and stuff. Just went on for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. And I was like, this is so cool, just independently coming here on my own, just feeling like the man, just strutting around. And then I went into this bar, okay, which is why I tell this story now. So bear in mind, guys, this is all on my own. I'm doing this all day. I'm having time in my life. I'm like meeting women and stuff like that. It's so cool. And I went into this bar at the end because I was about to go home and I was like, do you know what? I want to stay out for a little bit longer. And it was, why I mean I wanted to go home because I was about to meet the going out people. The people who've dressed up, come out for like 8 p.m. They actually want to go out. So I was like, fuck it. I'm going to just mix in with everybody. I'm just going to go into this restaurant. I'm just going to go into this bar. Okay, so I walk into this bar. Obviously, don't know anybody there. Everybody's drunk and leery. Everybody's in groups and whatnot. And I just go up to the bar and I was just like, I want a latte. I don't even want a drink. I want to be in the gym tomorrow morning early, like 6 a.m. I was like, just give me a latte. I didn't say that, but I was like, give me a latte, right? So I go and sit down. I walked over to this table. It was like 10 guys there. I was just like, hey guys, I was like, you're not using the end of this table. I was like, can I just grab a chair, turn it that way and just sit on my own? I was like, I'm here on my own. I just want to enjoy myself, just drink this. I'm just happy with my own company. And they were like, yeah, sure. I was like, cheers, boys. Just grabbed the chair, spun it round, sat on my own, just chilling, just sipping on this latte. And it was almost like the gap is just so fucking big. Like, this is what I noticed while I was sat there. I've been noticing it all day, right? But I just had this moment where I was able to just sit there, sip on this latte, look around, and I was like, all these guys are drunk. They all look puffy to me because they're just drinking all the time and eating shit. They just look like they're 18, 25% body fat within that kind of range. They don't look too good. The fashion, the hygiene, like the skincare, whatever, it's just not there. It wasn't on point. Like the muscle just hasn't been built. The frame wasn't there. I'm almost sat there like a grown man next to little boys, and all the women are just like looking over. Like girls came over and were like, are you on your own? Like they were asking all these questions like, who are you here with and stuff like that. They couldn't compute how I was that confident where I could just come into a bar and sit on my own. But the reason I was that confident is because I got to be honest, guys, I'm feeling myself right now. Probably evident from this video. You've probably not seen me like this because I really know where this shit's headed and I really like where I am right now. You know, and like I rarely make an effort, but I've just started doing it. And on Saturdays, I really make an effort. Like I said, I get all the SMP because it's quite long right now, the SMP. I haven't really done it properly, but I like shave all that up. I do obviously the natural diuretics and whatever. I hit the gym in the morning. I put on some really nice clothes because just hoodies and shit doesn't work. Like you guys noticed when I put on that quarter zip the other day, just makes the world a difference, okay, when you put on something nice. You trim up all your beard, you shape everything up. You do like a morning skincare routine. You know, you might even do something like a sauna in the morning or go for a run or whatever and like sweat out some shit. You got an early night the night before. I'm not looking at the screen all day as well, so I don't have these blue eyes under here. It just makes the world a difference. And that like impact that I could have in just a single bar just blew me away. Like I'm saying, that gap is enormous because now that I'm 29 years old, this isn't just, oh, we're all 18, we're at the same level. It's like I've been doing this shit properly for like 10 years now, from like 19 when I first started. Like I found Men-Provement with Sean Russell and I was like looking through all his articles, no fap, cold showers, all that stuff. So I've been doing this for like 10 years. And that gap, guys, is just fucking enormous. It's absolutely enormous. Like it's just glaringly obvious. Like I said, you just feel like a man amongst boys. Like there wasn't a single guy in that bar where I was just like, you know, I don't think they could. I'm not sat there for that purpose. Do you know what I mean? Like I do this for a job and I'm sat there just thinking, contemplating. And I was like, there's not a single guy in this bar that I think can compete with me. And you could tell because like all the girls were like gravitating over. There was like groups making their way over. And it's the same in the gym now as well. Like it was last summer, but it's even more so now, I think, because I'm like 5-6 kilograms heavier than I was, but roughly the same body fat percentage. And I think I've like, obviously I got the SMP, I've brought a few more things together. I feel like I've improved holistically. My confidence is probably higher because the money's like gone up like 10x since then. And like you're in the gym and just girls are just following you around. Like this week alone, I probably had 1, 2, 3... I've had about 6 girls come up and approach me unnecessarily. Do you know what I mean? Like you go to like use a machine, the whole gym's empty and somebody comes and stands next to you and they're doing an exercise. Now look, that could have been the exact exercise they wanted to do, and do you know what I mean? I'm just blowing my own trumpet and being a dickhead. But it's glaringly obvious in certain scenarios, and then they'll start a conversation with you, or do you know what I mean? Like it goes up to another level, or you're walking around the gym and you just like turn to look at something and somebody's just looking at you. Like they're on the treadmill facing that way, and they're literally turning their head as they're walking to look at you walking by, or to see where you are. Oh, is it like, oh, I think he's left. Like that kind of vibe. And then they spot you and turn around quickly, and they're like two girls are giggling. You get that kind of effect. Now, I'm not doing this to blow my own trumpet, although I think I should, because I've put so much work in and I'm kind of the spokesman, if not the face of this brand. So it's good to know that if I'm getting these results, and I've always been honest and truthful with you guys, because I've never said this stuff before. So if I am now, it must be happening. And I've always told you when it's been shit as well. Like when I was puffy just a few months back. But if I'm getting those results, then it speaks volumes and it helps you guys, because you think, fuck, if he's getting those results and we can see where he started as like a 2 out of 10, he admitted that himself, that's crazy. Like that is absolutely crazy. You know, just doing stuff like training my glutes. Like my fucking arse is just like puffed out like this right now. It's just like got an actual curve. Like it's crazy. Like my thighs are just like thick, and where I wear like cargo trousers like this and they like fit tightly, it just brings it all together. It just makes you look like you have an actual man's body. The point I'm making, guys, is who else is doing this? Like if you're doing skincare, if you're taking care of yourself in general, just through your health with like early nights, if you're eating clean, avoiding alcohol, keeping your salt low, monitoring your carbs, tracking your like macros in general, tracking your calories each day for bulks and cuts and maintenance. If you're taking ingredients like the natural diuretics I take, like dandelion, hibiscus, whatever, but if you're taking stuff like turmeric and you're like flushing your body out and you're taking care of like your lymphatic system, some mental exercises, massaging around here, if you're going for like spa days, saunas, if you're focusing on glutes, hamstrings, calves, like hips, flexibility, like even if you're doing something like yoga, okay? And you're bringing all this shit together and you're focusing on male fashion and what actually suits my body and what's in fashion right now, what looks good on me, and you're taking all this shit seriously. And when you're in the gym, you're training properly and you're pushing it to another level. You're not going out getting drunk and doing these late nights. You're reinvesting your money properly. Do you see what I mean, guys? And when that comes together, like at 18, you could be doing all that shit and there's zero evidence of results. This is the point I'm making. As those years tick by and you get to like 28, 29, 30 years old, you will see that gap is tremendously enormous, okay? It's a fucking chasm between you and the next guy. It's absolutely enormous, guys. Like, I'm just saying this story because I don't go out often. I will start from this point, but it was just like, it was crazy to me. It was alarming, like walking around how much forced female attention I was getting. I was talking to Hamza about this earlier. It was almost like celebrity status, just walking around. I was like, this is fucking crazy. Like, it's a little bit weird. Like, people going out of their way to talk to you and like getting stuff for free. Do you know what I mean? Like going out for food and they're just like, nah, don't worry, don't have to pay. It's on. You're like, what the fuck? Like, it's proper weird. Or walking up to a counter and all 4 girls try and like, oh, what do you want? Like, can I help? All at the same time. You're like, that's never happened before. That's weird. Or going out of their way to make sure that what you've got is okay and all this shit. I find that strange. And then seeing all of the guys that you're walking past, like double take. Like every guy is just walking past having a crack with their friend and they're just like double taking, looking at you up and down as in like, Jesus Christ. Like I didn't know legs could look like that. Do you know what I mean? I didn't know a frame could look like that. You can see the insecurity in their eyes. And I'm not saying this to brag. This is just the point that I've managed to get to from hard work for like 9-10 years of my life. And it's there for you guys too. And this is the thing. Barely any guys are doing any of this. Barely any. I probably know like 5 men that are doing all of this shit on a daily basis. You know, and here at First Man, you guys know we got some niche fucking things. Like, I'll do some proper videos on skincare soon. I'll do some videos on like the natural diuretics and how it flushes the system out, because I've literally just paid for 1,000 natural diuretic supplements. They're going to be here very soon, with the fulfillment company, they're going to be sending them all out, guys. So you're going to get this in 2-3 days. I need to make a video on that too, of like how you can start small in business, scale up, and now somebody else is delivering them for me, handling it all. It's crazy. Like, this is what I mean. It's exponential. That gap between me and who I used to be is that fucking big. So it's only obvious that that gap between me and other guys like my age or around my age is going to be fucking enormous. And for the guys that are like, oh, but girls want the 21-year-old Chad, the 18-year-old Chad. They don't, because they cannot compete. I'm telling you. Like, for guys their own age, in a school environment, a high school environment or university, he's the fucking man. In the real world, I'm telling you. I was walking around on Saturday. I did it 2 Saturdays before that as well. They can't compete. It's not the same level. Okay, there's a difference. Women can almost sense it or smell it when they just see a guy that's like, fuck, he's earning way above average money. Like, he's earning ridiculous money that I've never experienced before. He's in ridiculous shape. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's just these fucking tick boxes. Like, it's so rare to find that when you do, you almost, it's celebrity status. I should have vlogged it. I wish I'd vlogged it. It's going to rain this weekend, so I'm not going back. But next weekend, if it's sunny, if it's a nice day, I'm going to do it again. And I will take my camera, I will vlog it, I will show you what I'm doing. And I'll show you. It's fucking nuts. I'm that confident that it would happen again, okay? I'll do the whole day. I'll do the gym vlog. I'll do everything. It might be hard if like a girl's speaking to you and you just like quickly get your phone out. It looks a little bit bait, doesn't it? But maybe I can leave like a camera set up and recording. I don't know. But I don't really want to like catch people off guards. But you guys know me. I'll just be honest about every scenario, you know? But you can just kind of see the way that like, it's tough, isn't it? Because if you're carrying a camera, a lot of people are going to be looking. But I don't know. I don't know, guys, but I guess you just have to believe the concept. I will vlog it for fun purposes anyway, just to show you guys that you can go out on your own. You can enjoy life on your own. You can do cool shit. The other side of male life. I need to make the other side of male life part 2 for you guys, okay? And balling on a budget too. Like, it cost me like £50-60 for that whole day, and I went and had like 3 different meals, like 2 lattes in 2 different places, sat on like casual sofas, just chilling, just talking to different people. When you're on your own, you look good, you're in shape, you know, you look like somebody who's mature, got their life sorted. People just gravitate to you. The amount of people that just came over, sat next to me, men, women, like, oh, what are you up to? They just want to know, they're just curious, or they ask you a question or make a joke or whatever, like, oh, he clearly goes to the gym. And then they're like, it's just a way in. Like, it's weird. People just gravitate towards those people that are like, that's why I think NoFap works as well. Because people can kind of just sense, like, behind your eyes. They can sense your energy. They can just sense your aura. And they're like, this guy's fucking different. There's something about him. He's like magnetic. I want to talk to him. There's just an energy about you. And I feel as though when you tick all those boxes and you rise up to a certain level in life, guys, it's just, people can't compete. And you just, like I said, have that celebrity effect, you know, where there's just certain things that people notice, or you're such a rarity that you just stand out to another level. You know, when you see like a beautiful woman who really takes care of herself, and you know she's not just a beautiful airhead. Like, you can see that she's like dressed up nicely. She's like beautiful and sophisticated. And you almost like stop and you're just like, I want to just get to know this woman. I just want to talk to her. I just want to know her name. I want her to know that I exist. I'm going over. I'm going to have a chat. I feel like you can get that same effect with a man. Okay? Here's something really cool. I'm on a fucking roll at the moment, guys. My motivation is up. I feel buzzing about making these videos and shit. And here's something that I always had as a concept. When I was young, I kind of like looked at beautiful women and I was like, I want to chase them. I want them. I want her to be in my life. She's like my perfect woman. What, like, there must be somebody that she feels like that about. Right? Do you get that? Do you understand that, guys? There must be somebody that she thinks about in that same way. There must be. Like, she can't just be the top of the fucking tree. There must be somebody she does that for. So I was like, why can't that be me? Like, why can't I achieve that level? Why can't I reach those heights? And that's when, like, I got into self-improvement and I started thinking, if nobody's doing this stuff, then clearly you're going to rise above. Like, it's only obvious, right, guys? Like, let's do this in let's do this in like a school sense. Like if you go home every night and you revise and you've got a private tutor and you're buying all the textbooks and you're just putting in the extra hours and you're asking the most questions and you're sitting at the front of class, like it's going to pay off, right? You're going to probably get, like you've got a natural intelligence level, but you're probably going to get a better result than you would have, okay? You might get a straight A. Whereas if you'd put no work in, you might have got a D or a C because you just weren't committed to the same level. Why would it be any different in life? You know, so for the people who are, like I named multiple components there. I said staying later, sitting at the front, revising, private tutor. That could be skincare, proper gym routine. I'm not just talking, like I said before, there's 3 levels to self-improvement. And I'm not talking just, I go to the gym. Macros are tracked, okay? You're tracking your progress in the gym. You're like researching all the time. You're really focusing on form. You're trying to learn how your body works. You're tracking macros and calories and whatever. And you've got a specific plan and you're taking your time with it. And like that is way more important. And most people aren't doing that shit. But you've got that routine. You get down to 10% body fat, which most people will never achieve. They don't know what they're doing. That's the biggest problem with men's self-improvement. People know what to do, but they don't know how to do it. It's like everyone knows that they should go to the gym, but there's plenty of guys who go to the gym for 10 years and look exactly the fucking same. There's exact specifics that you can do. And this is my point. If you're doing the exact specifics, if you're doing the water retention, the gym transformation, if you're doing NoFap and stuff like that, which people don't know about, okay? If you're doing submental exercises and neck workouts and you're bringing all these small little components together, it's the aggregation of marginal gains. And you might not improve your looks 100%, 50%, you might improve them by 10%, okay? But if you improve your looks by 10% and you improve your body by 40%, which is a realistic number, okay? That's something you can change a lot more intensely, let's say, than your face, okay? You can do it more drastically than you could your face. Your body's, you can change that a lot easier, in my opinion, anyway. You can improve your fashion by like 15, 20%. You can boost your income by 30, 40%, 100, like 400% if you wanted to. But I'm using the aggregation of marginal gains concept here, okay? You start NoFap and multiple areas of your life go forward by like 10, 15, 20%. You start going to bed an hour earlier. Okay, well, that's improved the way you look by 10%. You limit your screen time. You take 1 day off per week to rest, recuperate, start looking better. You go to a spa. You're doing facials. You have a proper skin routine with a toner, with a serum, with a cleanser. Most of those words most guys wouldn't even know about, with a clay mask. Do you know what I mean? And you're doing them in the right order because you've researched. You've got an eye cream, stuff like that. You're putting extra dark Jamaican castor oil on your eyebrows. If other people aren't doing all of that shit collectively, guys, you might only move forward 1% in every fucking area. But if you're doing 50 things that other guys aren't doing, give it time. Because this is the thing, if you're doing all that at 18, there might be no evidence of results till you're like 23, 24. When everybody else... Here's the thing, okay? It's not that everybody else is standing still and you're improving. It's that everybody else is going down and you're improving. It's like, in sports, I don't know if you Americans will get this, but if 2 teams are you don't have relegation, right? But if 2 teams are fighting relegation, which means if they lose, if they finish in the bottom 3, they go down to the lower division. If 2 teams are fighting and they play each other, we call that a 6-pointer. Okay, so if everyone else is staying level, because you get 3 points for a win, okay? So by winning and them not winning, it feels like a 6-pointer, if that makes sense. Well, if everyone else is standing still and you're winning in life, that's 3 points. But if everyone else is going down because they're not doing these things, and 90% of men are lazy, in my opinion. They're not doing the right things. They don't really care too much. They're not... there's a reason women find 90% of men unattractive. That's exactly why. They don't know what they're doing. They're lazy. They don't get it. They're like babies on the planet for the first time. It's one reason why I believe slightly in like reincarnation, because I feel as though some people, like myself, have been here before. We just know shit. We just know how to do things differently. And if they're going down and you're going up, it's a 6-pointer. It makes that gap even more exponentially big. See what I mean, guys? That gap is fucking enormous. It's not just, here's the average guy and the average guy is a 3 out of 10. And a lot of people get confused when I explain this. What I mean by the average guy is a 3 out of 10, right, is if we were doing a singular component. So if we're just saying body, just body, fitness, gym, muscle, whatever. Body is a whole holistic thing. You have to mark average as 5. You have to, because it's middle of the scale. It's one singular component. 5 has to be the middle. This is where people get confused, okay? They say to me, Chris, 5 is always the average. It's always the middle. Your scale is off, right? If it's one singular if it's one singular data piece, okay, one singular chart, 1 to 10, 5 has to be the middle. It has to be, because it's just one thing. But if we then combine body and wealth, well, suddenly that average can be anywhere now, because it's the accumulation of both charts, okay? Like, that can move around massively, because they're not comparable. And then if you throw in another component, and another component, and another component, and before you know where you are, you've got 100 different components. Well, 5 doesn't have to be the average anymore. Because what you're doing is you're adding up people's total score cumulatively in all areas, and then dividing it by how many there are, you might end up with a 3. And I personally think, on an individual scale, the average guy in terms of looks might be a 5. Okay, it seems reasonable. The average guy in terms of body might be a 5. Collectively, across the board, when we actually tally things up properly, I think the average guy is closer, because they're not average in all areas. Like, a lot of guys miss out on other things. I think collectively, that gets dragged down to like a 3. I worked out it's like a 3.2 out of 10 when I did like my own scale once. And that's where I think the average guy sits. So they're not a 5 out of 10. They're drastically down there, which leaves all this space to move into. And I personally think the top 10% of men globally sit from 7 to 10. Okay, with the brackets getting smaller as you go up. And I think that pool of men from 7 out of 10 all the way up to obviously 10 out of 10 is so small that it's almost effortless to become a top level man. It's just so easy, it's effortless, because nobody else is doing this shit. And to get back to the point of the video, like I said, at 18, you won't notice, guys. Younger than that, you will not notice at all, because nobody's had time to put the work in. And time will reveal all, okay? I put it this way. I was working my absolute nuts off, trying to get in shape, trying to do self-improvement, trying to look better when I was like 21, 22, 23 years old. Little effect. I was like, whoa, I'm staying in, I'm not drinking, I'm not whatever. And the girls want that guy and not me, but he goes out drinking all the time. How does he still look good? It's not fair. This guy's got a fucking 10-pack. How's he got a 10-pack? Literally drinks like a fish, like he doesn't look good. What? Like, how does he look good? Sorry, he shouldn't. You know, he doesn't earn a lot, but they don't really care. It was like 18, 19 years old. Like, what? Like, this is a problem. But year on year, and as everything comes together, and as you start realizing the proper system, okay, so instead of just going to the gym, lift, stay in, like, you're tracking calories, macros, you get fucking serious about this shit, and you tweak it to a level where you can't do anything but get superior results. And once you nail that and you start seeing progress, fast forward 5-6 years, like I said, that gap is just exponential. It's massive, because nobody's doing this shit. And if you guys can do all the stuff that I'm teaching you on this channel, I guarantee you, just give it a little bit of time, you're going to leave everybody behind. You're going to leave them in the dirt. And by 25, some of you guys might be there now, you'll start noticing the first signs of this. Okay, there's a bigger gap now in income. There's a bigger gap now. Like, you find 1 or 2 guys that are jacked. Like, they've been going to the gym. You're like, fuck, you got really big. You just don't get that at 18. Like, you get maybe the odd rugby player, whatever, but it's like 25, you go, hey, that guy really got in shape. What have you been doing? Hey, you look really good. You've really changed. I had that. I remember getting to, like, I told you guys before a story of when I was younger, going out, getting drunk, enjoying it, chasing women. I was like the pretty boy. And I was trying to chase this one girl, and then her boyfriend showed up at the club. And it must have been like 11:30, okay? So we're all thinking, hey, 4 a.m, go and get a kebab, take a girl home. Like, hot girls, and I was talking to Hamza about this earlier, he agreed. Hot girls kind of go out, dress up, get that attention, get to like 11 o'clock, grab the phone, or, hey, are you up? To the guy they actually want, okay? The high-level guy who's at home, who's hitting the gym tomorrow morning, that sort of shit. And this guy just turned up, and he was just like jacked. He was in shape, like low body fat, face looked good. He looked clean. He had like a nice car outside and stuff. He was dressed in nice clothes. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Just getting drunk. I felt like a bum. And he just took that beautiful girl home that I was chasing all night. And that was end of story. And I was like, I need to up my game, because that I've not seen a gap like that before. Like, I thought I was at a high level. I thought I was doing well. What the fuck is that? That's like an alien to me. Like, how is that level even achievable? Okay, and that's why when I talk about myself and I say like how well I'm doing now and how I'm experienced that same thing, but I think way higher than that guy that I saw. That's how people can't say, oh, he's cocky, he's arrogant, whatever, because I'm humble enough to admit that I was getting fucked on, back in the day, and it wasn't working in my favor. I was on the other side of the coin, so I know what it feels like, guys. So now when I'm strolling through an area and you've got like 90% of the people that you're walking past, like girls staring at you in a I want to fuck you way, or like stopping you or saying something, or like, the more childish ones shouting something out, like nice ass or whatever. And then you've got, you're having conversations with women and it's just glaringly obvious that at any point you can just be like, hey, give me your number, and they would. And then you've got guys that you're walking past like double taking at your body or like catching glances at your arms and stuff like that. Well, that's what I used to do. Like, I know what that feels like. I know what that looks like. So now I'm in that scenario and I'm telling you guys that gap's just fucking enormous. And it's come from that hard work. And you will get there. You just need to keep putting the work in. But as I said, there's an exponential gap. Now, beyond 30, it might get even bigger. Like, it might keep growing. I think wealth and fitness would be the biggest amplifiers. I think wealth more than anything, life setup. Because right now I don't really have any assets. I haven't done that whole thing. I'm contemplating getting a Range Rover lately. If I'm not going to go into the penthouse, I just need something to get me to these places so that I can actually go out and have the freedom, because there's not a lot around here. And if I'm going to make the sacrifice for the betterment of First Man and the reinvestment into the business, then I might as well have some level of enjoyment, right? Rather than just kind of sitting there and working. Like, there's got to be something there. And I can maybe use it for business purposes to like drive different places, go and feature on people's podcasts and stuff like that. I don't know, guys, maybe I could set a camera up in the car and do like one-to-ones like this with you guys whilst driving around, put a guest in the car, have like a podcast in there. That could be pretty cool. I don't know. So I've been like weighing that sort of shit up. But I imagine post-30, because of life setup, the kind of like added wealth that's going to be in place, like that, the lifestyle as in John sat at his desk on a Wednesday, I'm in Paris with a 9 out of 10. Do you see what I mean? And I just think that is going to be the next like amplifier. But that gap just keeps getting fucking bigger. And you have to, like I've told you the good side of it there, my success story in that sense. And it's only going to get better because, like I said, I'm 14% body fat right now. I don't feel too good. I feel as though I can look way better. And, there's certain aspects that I can improve, especially the life setup thing. So I think it's only going to get better. And that's a success story. But for you guys out there who might be like 18 right now, is like, my life's good. I'm a handsome guy. I get girls. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I promise you, if you don't put the work in, you will get left behind. Because if you're living a certain lifestyle, let's say just a couple of beers with the boys, a kebab, you don't hit the gym, it's only so long that can go on before your body fat creeps up, and you won't notice it because it'll be like 1% per year. And 2-3 years down the line, you just don't quite look the same, and you've gone, and you only just notice, like somebody calls out to you, or you see a picture and you go, why have I got a bit of shit under my chin? Like, whoa, like where's my cheekbones gone? I don't look as good. Or somebody's like, you don't have abs, and you're like, yeah, I do, and you pull it up. I've been in that scenario. You pull it up, I'm like, see, and everyone was like, oh, no, you don't. And I was like, oh, right, like, I used to have abs. What the fuck happened? And you're just gaining that 1% body fat because you're not living the right lifestyle. It will just slowly creep up on you, or you're not taking care of your finances. And it's cool when you're 18 because you don't really need shit. As long as you've got enough money to go out for a couple of beers, take a girl out on a date, it's all good. But, your friends start getting mortgages and cars and whatever, and you're the guy who's still catching the bus. It just starts to, suddenly you start to slip away from that leading pack of men. And that top 10% of men, they're relentless. And the top 5% are just killers. Okay, and the top 1%, they live whatever they want. They can do whatever the fuck they want. They're literally like kings amongst peasants. They're literally killing it. Okay, that's obviously the aim, is to get into that bracket. But be careful, guys, okay? Be really careful about being left behind. Because there's a lot I made a video on this before about how good-looking men rarely succeed. Because things are too good too soon, they get lazy. I was lucky, I went bald. Okay? Obviously, I got SMP now, I need to shave it, but for those of you who are wondering, like, why is he not bald? But I went bald, and it kind of like knocked me back, and my confidence got knocked, and I had to do a lot of soul searching, and I had to improve in other areas, and it forced me to get better. Before that, I was like a pretty boy, and I was lazy. I was like, oh, this is going to last forever. I can literally get any woman I want. Like, this is fine. And then finances start to matter. And then the shape you're in starts to matter. Like, you get to 22, 23. My friend had this real handsome guy, like ridiculously handsome guy, got like an 8-pack, and has always been able to get women. And girls started to be like, oh no, he's just too skinny for me. Looks like a little boy, he's not a man. It's like the first time it started to happen. He's like, what the fuck's going on? Right? Oh, your arms are too small. You're like, my arms have always been great. Girls have always loved my arms. Yeah, when you were 18, 25, you got little boy arms. There's different standards. It's like, if you're earning 30,000 per year at 18, that's really good fucking money. Well done. Congratulations. If you're earning 30,000 per year at like 30 years old, there's some improvements that need to be made there. Do you see what I mean? Same money, different scenario. Don't get left behind, guys, because this is constantly evolving. And guys like me, who are, I would say, probably obsessed with this shit of like, I've got a healthy obsession with being better than other men. I like it. Like I've said to you guys before, I'll never let another man be better than me, and if they are, it's because they've worked for it. I can live with that mentality, but I've got a healthy obsession with wanting to be better than other men, wanting to rule, wanting to be the king, whatever. I like it. I feel like I belong there. That's my position in life. Yeah, I feel like that's where I belong in life. I'm happy there. I'm happy to rule. I'm happy to lead. I like it, and that's where I want to push it. And if you've got guys like that, you're just going to get left behind. You're just going to get left behind, okay? So put that work in, and remember, guys, like I said, it changes with age. It becomes exponential. So you have to be careful. It's almost like the progression bias. What you want right now won't be what you want in the future. It's almost like what works right now will not work in the future, or what is acceptable right now won't work in the future too. Like I said, 30k per year won't work at 30 years old. Just being the skinny little pretty guy. By 30 years old, if you haven't been living the right lifestyle, you might be 2-3% body fat higher. You don't quite look like you used to. Your hair starts to go, and you're like, fuck, like that was my whole identity. That was who I am. If you're not putting that work in along the way, I mean, you don't have the foundation. You don't have anything to fall back on. The game changes. Like I've always told you guys, the high school to adult male switch. It happens. It creeps up on you. Nobody warns you about it. You're 18, you're enjoying yourself, you're going out for beers, you're off to uni, your parents are paying for it. Woohoo, life's great. You get to like 22 and people are like, you haven't got a fucking job. What's the matter with you? Don't think I'm going to take care of you. Parents are on your ass. Girls are suddenly like, no, he's broke, he's got a terrible job. You know, that hoodie that you used to wear, I know I'm wearing a fucking hoodie now, but it's freezing in here. That hoodie that you used to wear, girls are like, I wish he'd dress up more. Do you know what I mean? His hygiene's not quite as good. That haircut that used to work as an adult man, it kind of looks childish. Like, shit just changes. And if your mindset's not set on, I want to be the king at like 28, 29, 30, in my 30s, in my 40s, I want to be the king then. And you're more targeting like, I want Justin Bieber flicky hair. You know, I want to be popular. If you're like focused on that other shit, as I'm showing in my life right now at 29 years old, you will be left behind. I feel like I'm absolutely crushing people. Like it's got to the point where I'm making men feel insecure when they're just in your presence. You know, you make women kind of go red-faced and they just look nervous and they're all twitchy and stuff. And you're just like, I've got body language certificates, as you guys know. I'm an expert in it. I'm talking to a woman and I'm just fixated, just eyes locked, and I'm talking to her without looking away. Just like eye contact's bang on. And you're speaking confidently, articulately, and you can just see she's just like falling apart. Like they're just all over the place. Because she's not experiencing that with other guys. They haven't done body language courses. They haven't looked into this sort of thing. They're not in shape. They're not confident because they haven't done all these other things. Do you see what I mean, guys? It's almost like an exponential thing that takes place. And that's how you get a scenario where, like I said, I don't want to make this all about women, but where women are like, I need a real man. You know, that's a real man. That's somebody who's top level. That's a high level man. It's the collective. It's all of those traits combining together. You can't just rely on having flicky hair and a nice face. Like, oh, I've got naturally good bone structure. Great for you. Like, I really mean that. Great for you. That's a bonus. Use it. I'm 6'2". There's my gift. Okay, I'm naturally gifted genetically in terms of physical performance. I was always the quickest, the strongest, the best at sports, and I'm 6'2". I've got that in my favour. So when I went to the gym, it was easy. I got into shape pretty quickly. I brought it all together. Like, my legs just hyper responded because I've done so many sprints and sports. Like, when I started doing leg days, it kind of just gave me a solid base. It's little things like that. But I got tons of other weaknesses. I went bald. I got big ears. Okay, well, let's fix other areas. Let's start tightening things up. My skin wasn't like, it was terrible. I had like terrible acne when I was young. Okay, let's fix that. See what I mean, guys? You're just like plugging your weaknesses. Other men aren't doing that. They'd rather go out on a Thursday night and have a couple of beers with John, Joey, and Paul. Is that the cast of Friends? They'd rather sit with those guys and just like enjoy themselves in a pub every night. Which is, again, is fine. Like, if that's their level of ambition, but don't expect a fucking great life. And also expect to be humiliated by men who have got that passion, who are going to sit next to you one day, and you're going to go, fuck, I hope my girlfriend doesn't spot him. Like, that's what you start seeing. You see guys that have got their girlfriend with them, and they just like kind of turn off the other way. Oh, let's cross the road for no reason. It's just weird shit like that, or they just move. Like, or they're at the gym with their girl, and they're just like, oh, let's go downstairs. So, like, because this guy's upstairs. Do you know what I mean? You can see shit like that happening. Guys get really insecure. Fucking love it. I love that feeling. I love that power position, and you guys should too, okay? Check out the brand new How to Become a Better Looking Man course by using the links below.